And hi, good morning, everyone. This is Jen coming to you live from Singapore, or good afternoon or good evening, depending where you are coming watching me from. And today, I'm really super excited to have this very amazing couple coming all the way, from Canada to my page. If you are wondering how come today I may be, talking a little bit differently because I've got a little bit bad throat. Last night I had a wonderful time, attending this Halloween horror night. And of course, today, without further ado, I would like to bring you this, like I said, amazing couple all the way from Canada. And, they are very amazing leaders in our online community. And with me, I have Dave and Roseanne today. Hi.
Hi,
Hi, Jen.
Jen. Thanks for inviting us. It's always an honor to be invited here.
Glad
Yes,
to be
thank
here.
you. Thank you so much. Yes. And, I am just a little bit different also because I'm feeling a bit nervous, although I've been going live for a long time, overcome this fear, but still, I just couldn't imagine having Dave and Roseanne on my page. I really want to thank you for honoring our page here and sharing your amazing story with, all our audience.
Thank you.
So, without further ado, maybe can I just get both of you to do a self introduction?
Before the online business, I actually I'm from the Philippines. I migrated to Canada in 1996. I was about 14, 15 years old, and my background actually, I went into school for engineering, aeronautical engineering. I found out it wasn't for me because I didn't really like it. I always joke around that I have this sickness called alarm clockitis. When the alarm clock goes off, you want to throw it to the wall because you
Yeah.
don't want to go to work, right? And so that was the first time I tried to venture something else. I went into my first self-employment, which is in the financial services world. That's actually where I met Roxanne. Roxanne, I was her manager, so I guess I managed her really well because I married her, right? And prior to the online business, I was a general manager. And now I do this full time.
Yeah. So, for me, I moved here in Canada from the Philippines as well in 2004, and I went to school here for paralegal because at the time I wanted to be a lawyer, and little did I know that my mind expanded, my mind opened when I realized that I can actually attain that financial freedom through a business, and that's where I met my husband. And my dream was really to help my parents retire in the retirement, and I realized having great careers is not enough to help out more than your family. It's just enough for the two of us and our future kids at the time. So we tried different ventures, and it wasn't easy, and thank God, in 2018, that's where we found this online business, and that was 4 years ago, and the rest is history, and we're here full time.
Wow. Thank you for sharing. It's so true about the alarm clock syndrome, right? Like, all of us typically would be, very accepting of this type of lifestyle, because we probably would have been drilled since then that we all have to study hard, go to the university, get a good
Mhm.
job, then you will be assured of a good pay. But this type of lifestyle really no longer sustain for many of us,
Mhm.
in places where we have high standards of living. And if you don't do something different, we will probably never get out of this um, normal routine, normal life that we all have, right? Especially if we have kids. I mean, it will be very tough for all of us. But it's really amazing to see how you have, decided to make a better life for yourself and, of course, for the children, for your
Mhm.
kids, right? Yeah. So I'm sure there are reasons like you share, like Roseanne also said, share that wanting to do something for families back home. But were there like really triggers in the life that makes you even want to do it better, to find that solution? Because you did mention that you were doing something else also previously, but it didn't really work. Yeah, so could you share what were really the trigger points then?
Yeah, that's a very good point. We always share that when we started the online business almost 4 years ago now, we were in a good place. We were actually lost. We didn't know what to do because we were, in $86,000 in consumer debt. We were deeply in debt, and we actually was like kind of blaming each other, right?
Yeah, I think the turning point was we got laid off from our job, and that was actually a resident manager where we actually get free rent. So at the time, we didn't know, what to do then. Like we realized that we got to this point because we're not doing well, right? We realized that we have to do something different. And I remember asking the Lord to give us a solution, lead us to the right business. And I think that was in February 2018, and then in October 2018, that's when we found this online business. So I think that's that triggers us that, what, if we lost our job, we're not ready, right? And that was I think a wake-up call for us that we have to do something different.
Yeah, and also another point for all your viewers is that at that point we've been on the entrepreneurial journey
Yeah,
for over 10 years. We've failed many times, and we were this close to quitting. And I'm sure a lot of your entrepreneurial viewers, some of them that have experienced failure, could have felt the same way, that we were this close. It was a turning point because not only were we evicted, we were close to really at our last straw, but we still stood up and fight because we knew that it's not about quitting, it's about changing the generation, and it's not a job that can do it. It's a business, and that last straw, that last prayer led us to this online business. We're here today. So that was kind of our turning point.
Right. So this is really the spirit of never giving up, because
yes,
right, good. I'm sure that there's a reason why we fail, and fail is really not because of failure, but it's really truly because of experience.
That's
and
right.
because of that many years experience of entrepreneurship that leads you to who both of you are today, right? And the really interesting thing is that it's so true that having a job these days doesn't assure you of anything or even job security. And I'm really very interested to find out is, having tried so many different businesses before, right? Dave, what makes you think then that, hey, this is the right one, and what makes you feel that, you would want to go into this online business?
Yeah, you were definitely right, Jen. Those failures became a blessing when we saw this business, because I think at one point we've counted, I think we did over 20 failed business. And so I always joke around that we've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? So and in our webinars, they're talking about the 3 pillars. There's 3 that has to be very good for it to work. And we've done many business that has good, one pillar is good, the other pillars are not so good. The one pillar is okay, but the other, or like 2 of them are good, but the other one is not that good. So for example, right, we tried companies that the products were good, but the problem is they didn't have good systems and they don't have good training, so it didn't work, right? We also tried companies that the products was horrendous, right? I mean, they didn't even come on time. They weren't approved in certain countries. We also tried companies that they were good with 2 pillars. They have good products, good training systems, but the problem is they don't have marketing system, customers. We ran into those so many problems all the time that, the product is good, the system is good, but the thing is, where do I find customers, right? Unlimited customers where we don't approach friends and family, because we didn't like that type of thing. And when we saw this, where it had the 3 pillars working really, really well, which the most important pillar for me is, where do I get customers? Because that's the problem of every business. I don't care what business you are. You could be the best realtor in town. If you don't have any customers, you're struggling.
Yeah.
You could be the best restaurant in town. If you don't have a way to get customers, you're a struggling restaurant. I don't care who you are, right? Online, offline, if you don't have a way to get unlimited customers, right, you're gonna struggle. And when I saw that this online business not only has that but provides the training, I was like, this is it. I mean, all those failures, this could be it, right?
Yeah, and also we've been to people's kitchen one-on-one, also hotel presentations. We've done like training, like we had to be physically there for the people to present, and it took us a lot of time out of our family time, our weekends. And when we saw this online business, we realized, what, we can actually do this from the comfort of our home and anywhere in the world. When we travel, when we're out and about, we can run this. And that's what really attracted to us, aside from the training and the, system that we can attract people. We don't have, I remember our first, coaching call with our coach is that, we want to make sure that, hey, can we do this business with our friends and families? And they said definitely. And that's what they're doing at that time. And for us, it's our, we've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? And that's why we're here, and why we chose the online business.
Right. Yeah, thank you for sharing this. This is really so real. I mean, even to me, I can resonate. It's like, only when we get clarity what we don't want, and we have gone through those experiences, then we are very clear, and we will know when the true opportunity lies and presents to us, right? And really, this is something that we also don't want to be approaching friends and family members. I think no one wants to do that really. And like what Dave said, right, it must be something that we have a good pool of customers waiting for us, rather than we chasing after them.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sure you would agree that in so many different business models that most of us have experienced, we need to be physically there, and that's not what we want, right? Even though we are our own bosses, we are still so-called slave to our business, because we are trading our time. It's not something that we want. and really, we have, many of us know how Dave and Roxanne has flourished in this business, done so well, and you were saying previously you had 86K of consumer debts, and we've known how things have transformed, for not just for both of you. Both of you has actually inspired thousands and thousands of people globally. So could you share with us, right, really how this business have changed your lives?
Yeah, I what I love about our business model is that when we started here, we were desperate. We're in desperation. We were just desperate to get results. We're desperate to, pay off that debt. We were just desperate. So our first goal, really, when we started the business, we were in $86,000 in consumer debt. We just wanted to be able to pay that bill off. And I believe was it 16 months, we became debt free. And it's hard to explain what that is. If somebody that has debts, they probably understand that you can't sleep at night, you have worry, right? But when you're debt free, it's just different. Your smile is a bit bigger, your jump is a bit higher, your hug is a bit tighter, the sun shines brighter, right? And you don't owe anything. So that was kind of our desperate situation, and we got out of that, and then other things started to happen, right?
Yeah. I think what really changed, how this business changed our lives, is just allows us to give us more time with the things that we love, and the people that we love as well. We just had our baby last year, so now he's 15 months old, and we get the chance to spend more time with him, instill the values that we want, and those priceless moments that we don't have to go to a job, because we do this online business full time now. Also, the ability to give shopping spree for my mom, right? And we also bought our new home last year, and now it's 50% we paid it off 50% already, and I know that next year it will be fully paid off. So it's amazing how financial blessings can go so far. And also, of course, when you travel, we don't have to worry about it after, right? Because you're using cash. Another thing is really like, I think what really inspired us also is the stories of our mentees, the people that we've helped in this business, not just us having the financial blessings, but also other people are experiencing because of this online business.
What amazed me about this business model is that it's the world called leverage, because most solopreneurs or startups or small businesses, that the more income they make, the less time usually they have, because you manage a lot of people, you have all that stuff, right? For us, like, I was comparing my business to a friend of mine that owns a cleaning company, and his business he's been doing it for 10 years, doing really well, $4 million in sales, per year, lots of employees, right? My business, I checked last year, is well over $5 million in sales, but the biggest difference is the time, right? Because I'm with my family all the time. I spend maybe 5, 10, 15. The more money we made here, the less time we spend because of the leverage, right? And it's kind of like, the way I explain it, it's kind of like when you have a franchise, but you own multiple franchises now, and you get a percentage of that store. It just comes in because now you're just helping other people build their own little stores, and every time they make a sale in that store, you get a percentage of it. It started with our own store. We had to make revenue there, but then as we help others build their own, right? They know. So it's incredible, the business model itself, because I was like, wow, I can't think of a business model that can give me this much time with this amount of income, right? So
absolutely, yes. And there's so many people out there, they may not, or rather they really didn't know of this option, because we are all, like I said, very used to trading our time for money, and we never thought that the more money we earn, we could have more time freedom, which is ultimately the type of lifestyle that every one of us really deserve. But we really never thought that this is ever possible. And I want to really, thank both of you to be here sharing this amazing journey with us, being such a huge inspiration for myself and so many people out there. And I'm sure having, interacted with so many people, coach so many people globally, could you maybe share with our audience who are watching us today? They may have come across this opportunity, but not quite sure, is it for them, or still quite skeptical? I mean, is it so good to be true, right? So maybe some word of advice for them.
So for those people that are watching here, watching the replay later on as well, I can relate if people are sometimes skeptical about online, because I've been there. I was skeptical in the beginning, but because of our previous experience, right? But there's only a few reasons why people are skeptical. One of them is they have bad experience. The other one is they probably just heard it from other people, like bad experience. The third one is, they just have no idea, right? And they judge it. But overall, like, the only way to lower that skepticism is having knowledge, educate yourself, right? Be open. And, we always, encourage people to check out, the website of Jen, right? There is a free webinar that we offer, so that at least, it will educate you if this is for you. Like for us, we were just open. We saw normal, everyday people, immigrants like us, people like when they were showing it to me, because I was skeptical, right? He kept showing it to me, people that are older than us, people that have more kids, people that doesn't speak much English, and these people are paying off their debts, people that are buying homes, paying off their homes, they're quitting their jobs. And I said to myself and to him, if these people can do it, we can certainly do it as well. And that really like opened my mind and opened my eyes. And that's where, we prayed about it and we took the chance. And that was 4 years ago.
Yeah, and yeah, so for the one last thing, it's we clicked the link and we just clicked it and we watched the webinar. That's really all you need to do, because we prayed for a solution.
Mm-hmm.
And I always tell people that when you pray for something, there's always a divine appointment. God will lead you to your answer, but you have to keep the appointment by taking action. And some people will ask for something, it's like it's in front of them, but they don't take action. So we took the action. It may be or maybe not for you because it's not for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But what if it's for you, like it was for us? It could change your life, right? So
right. Exactly. Taking action is so important, right? In anything in life. So once again, thank you so much, Dave and Roxanne, for having here. And thank you everyone who is watching us live or replay. And like what both of them, our successful leaders here, have shared. Click on the link and take action. Or get in touch with myself or Dave and Roxanne. We will be more than happy to share with you how these have transformed our lives and how it can also be a life-changing opportunity for you as well. With that, thank you so much, and we'll see you again on the next episode of Digital Business Chat. Goodbye, everyone, and thank you, Dave and Roxanne.